fourth part of my series of my collection story. And today we are going to talk about vintage bicycles. For several years, and it got me into collecting pictures of bicycles. It's something that I really enjoy. Vintage pictures are just a lot of fun. The bicycle has been around about 200 years. There are some examples of the bicycle in a more primitive form going back several hundred years. So today we're going to look at my collection of bicycle photos. So the first one is this child on a scooter. And yes, a lot of my photos will also be bicycle related photos. You have to remember these photos are pretty old, so they could be faded. There's another neat one. Person riding the bike. That's probably somewhere around the 50s. Another neat old photo. Kind of looks like they're riding together possibly. Like I said, some of these are faded. Here's a really small one, but another gentleman out on the bike. You have to remember, this used to be a main part of transportation. Not everyone could afford a car or a truck or even a motorcycle. So a lot of people biked way back before the turn of the century even. This is a really neat picture. This one, even if it has wheels on it and it's like a push toy and it's kind of that bike related item, I collect it. And this is just really a cute old picture of a child in like a push car. I really like this one because this lady is in some type of invalid bicycle. It's a three-wheel type of bike that I don't know for sure how she got around, if she pedaled. We have a picture of a couple of gentlemen with the bike on the back of the vehicle. Now back then, I wonder how they attached them actually to the car. Did they have to make a rig up to do this, or did they have bike holders back then? I'm really not for sure. Okay, here's another one of, looks like a couple of women, some children with bicycles. Women's bikes survived a lot more than men's. So you see a lot more of them today because men were really hard on their bicycles. There's a child on a tricycle. Here's another one of a child on a tricycle. You have to remember, these are older tricycles with metal wheels. Very interesting. There's a little boy on his tricycle. Looks like he might have some chaps on, or... This is still an older photo, but really interesting. Here's a small one. We have a bicycle. And then we also have some type of push scooter. Another faded one, but these pictures are very collectible. There are a lot of people out there that love old bicycles and collect them. Some people, it's a sickness almost. There's a gentleman, he's out riding, it looks like in the country, around some woods. Seems to be dressed up pretty nice. There's another one, another gentleman with his bike. And I would rather have an older bicycle than a new one, because some of them ride actually pretty good. Okay, this one might be from the 60s, later 50s, early 60s possibly. Seems like it's a gloss photo. Here's an interesting one. Look at that chap. He has like a leather football helmet on. Interesting. Wonder what they were thinking. Here's a woman with a step-through bicycle. I don't understand why, or if it was just for convenience and easier for women to get on a bike with a step-through. They still make them today. Men's bicycles just did not last because they used them. Okay, I really like this one. The picture of the guys with the bicycles. Looks like they're in the army. Kind of reminds me of the movie MASH back in the Korean era. There's another one with a child on a trike. And I like these photos because they are bicycle related. I like this one. Look at her pants. I'm not for sure what she's wearing even. If these are a type of chaps even, or some type of weird pants. Looks to be a bicycle that's almost too big for her. Okay. Now we're gonna get into some of my older photos, which I love old vintage photos of bicycle and with people. That's how you always see these photos. It seemed like people were proud to own a bicycle back then. If you look at the old ads, they were not real expensive. What you made for an hourly wage was a lot less, so maybe it was a lot of money back then even. Okay, there's an old one. It's kind of faded, but that is a really neat one. If you look really close, they're wearing the same style of hat as I am. There's another gentleman riding another bicycle. This is a really old photo. I mean, look at that old bike. That is something that I wish that I could find. But with a lot of these old bicycles, what they did is they scrapped them. World War II came around and they needed metal. So a lot of these old bikes went to the scrap yard and they made tanks and ships out of them. It's really sad to think of that because some of these bikes that were around back then are very, very collectible. And today, they are almost impossible to find. Here's another one. And, you know, this gentleman, they look poor. They really do. But they're with their bicycle, and he's with his daughter, and they seem very, very happy. Okay, I love this one. In front of the old store. You know, certain areas used to say soda. Some people said pop, soda pop. Some places say Coke. That's a neat photo. This is really, really, really old. And this is just a really neat photo. One of my more prized pictures because you just look at it. It's just really, really, really interesting. And I love it. I love the child on the tricycle. It is so innocent. Okay, here's another old one. And you have to remember, these photos, when these were taken, these were snapshots back then, and the quality of pictures were not what they are today. But there's a little girl in her dress. Just really cute. Another one of my favorites is this one. And it's actually, to be honest, this is not in very good condition, but it has the subject matter that people are looking for, so it is very collectible. And it's very old. Here's another one, and you could hardly see. And this is another very, very old photo, and I just like it. Probably one of my oldest. This is an old cabinet card. And it looks kind of like it might have been cut down, but most of the picture seems to be there. Very faded, but still very unusual. Okay, this is probably one of my favorites. And if you look close, there's the bus drivers. The one driver standing behind the other driver, and the other one's on a tricycle. Now, isn't that funny? This has to be my favorite. You see the old guys, and they're in front of some kind of wooden building. I'm not for sure what it is. Looks like they've been working. They have their bike. Just a really another neat old picture. So I hope you enjoyed looking at my collection of pictures of bicycles and people. Please leave a comment below the video. And please also subscribe to my channel. And I hope everyone has a great day. We will talk at you later.